Now at 10, the latest as communities look to recover from deadly tornadoes. Plus, a local food truck is loading up and heading to Kentucky to feed tornado victims. Also, Miami, Oklahoma police search for a shooting suspect. And on this day in history, how area women fought for the rights of coal miners.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says 74 deaths have been confirmed in his state after Friday night's tornado outbreak, and more than 100 people remain unaccounted for. This is KOIM News at 10. Mola Lengi reports from Edwardsville, Illinois, where workers at an Amazon distribution center died in the storms.
Amid Kentucky's devastation, the long cleanup effort is underway.
We'll be actively working the site tonight.
Wednesday, President Biden plans to survey the state's hardest hit areas, including Mayfield and Dawson Springs, where the youngest known victim was a 2-month-old.
The devastation is just stunning.
The Duke family found cover in a small storm cellar.
I thought we were going to die.
More than 24 twisters ripped through multiple states, from Arkansas to Illinois. Thousands lack power, heat, and running water.
If a fire broke out in the city limits today, we can't fight it.
Kentucky's death toll is expected to be lower than initially feared after many more people escaped a Mayfield candle factory that was flattened.
Both leg was twisted, my arm is twisted. To release my feet, I have to let go my 2 shoes. There was a small light in there, so I climbed up myself.
In Edwardsville, Illinois, 6 people died after part of an Amazon distribution center collapsed. 26-year-old David Koziak was working his regular night shift when the tornado tore through the facility.
As soon as I pulled in, everybody was screaming shelter in place.
The governor of Illinois tells CBS News state and local officials have begun investigating whether the facility was structurally sound before the tornado hit. That is in addition to a federal OSHA investigation that was just launched. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Edwardsville, Illinois.
The CEO of the candle factory in Mayfield says they've located and can account for every employee known to be working who survived the twister. 102 people survived and 8 died at the factory. For some, seeing the devastation in Kentucky is all too similar to what Joplin saw 10 years ago. That's why one local business is stepping up to lend a hand to our neighbors to the east. Bacon Me Crazy, which operates a physical restaurant and a food truck, will take that truck to Mayfield, Kentucky tomorrow morning. The owner, Jeff Carney, says after all the help Joplin received in 2011 with free meals to those in need, he felt it was only right to pay it forward.
I think that Joplin should remember exactly what we went through for months and months here. I mean, and people were driving around our neighborhoods passing out meals and stuff, and it helped out because like we were sitting there with no electricity, we had no way to eat, and then next thing you know, they were rolling up down the road giving us food. So I think Joplin, if any place, we need to step up and pay it back.
There's also a GoFundMe to help raise money to cover expenses for the trip and so they can sponsor a couple of families in Mayfield. There's a link to the GoFundMe on our website, KOIMnewsnow.com. Once again, an unusually warm December day here in the 4 states. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, after we cooled down over the weekend, temperatures right back up for us today to near 70 degrees. We should not be this warm in the middle of December. 69 was our high. 41 is where we started. Look at our average high. It's 48 degrees, so we are 21 degrees above that mark, and we'll put even a bigger gap within that for us tomorrow. Clear skies. We are going to get some clouds in here later on tonight. We have a little bit of moisture affecting north from eastern parts of Texas and the Gulf of Mexico, and this is ahead of our next storm system, which will start to affect us over the next few days. So ahead of it, we get the southerly winds, temperatures warming up. We're still into the mid-50s. We'll only drop back to about 48 later on tonight as south winds will keep those temperatures up just a bit. Clouds will increase, 48 to start. We should be all the way up near 70 by tomorrow afternoon. There is a slight chance we could get a random shower or two. We're going to break that down for you and look at some thunderstorms here in just a bit.
See you then. Police in Miami, Oklahoma are looking for a suspect in a weekend shooting who they say fled on a bicycle. That suspect is Daniel Zajacek. Police responded to a call at a home on 8 Southeast Street a little after 1 yesterday afternoon, where they found Kenneth Crane with a gunshot wound to a leg. A crew took Crane to a Joplin hospital. Investigators say the suspect got away on a red and pink BMX-style bike. In the last report, he was still at large. The OSBI is investigating a burned body found at the scene of a fire. That fire happened in Delaware County on December 9th. Firefighters from Jay responded to a call about a brush fire near South 609 Road around 11 p.m. Firefighters found the body of a man and immediately called the sheriff, who brought in the OSBI. Today, officials announced they've identified the body, but they are not yet releasing a name. 100 years ago today, thousands of women marched on area coal mines in support of striking miners who faced hazardous working conditions, poor pay, and discrimination. That event is called the March of the Amazon Army, and today the Miners Hall Museum in Franklin, Kansas honored the marchers by welcoming in the descendants of those women to speak about their impact on history.
Lots of pride. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of pride for them to be part of something like this and to make change, because a lot of change began to slowly happen after that. So yeah, it's very cool.
My grandmother was one of the few women who'd gotten arrested for participating. So that added another layer to the whole thing that in a lot of ways makes you feel proud that she was so active and energetic about all of this.
The museum today was also turned into a postal station with special postmarks commemorating the march. It also has an exhibit on the march running through December. Still ahead, experts say hundreds of millions of devices worldwide could be exposed to a newly revealed software vulnerability. And the Federal Reserve is set to meet to discuss record high food prices.
Raise your glass to
Hundreds of millions of devices worldwide could be exposed to a newly revealed software vulnerability. A senior Biden administration cyber official warned industry executives today to address what she calls one of the most serious flaws she's ever seen. The vulnerability is in a Java-based software called Log4j. Some of the world's biggest tech firms use it to log data. Experts say suspected Chinese hackers are already trying to use it to break into organizations' computer networks, and that it could take weeks to address the vulnerabilities. Attackers reportedly had more than a week's head start on exploiting the software flaw before it was publicly disclosed. Organizations are now in a race against time to figure out if their systems were exposed. The Federal Reserve is holding a key two-day meeting this week to discuss interest rates and inflation. It comes as Americans are paying more for nearly everything, including rent, gas, and food. New data shows consumers are seeing the highest price increases in decades when it comes to groceries and restaurant meals. Jen Sullivan has a closer look at what's behind these historic price hikes.
Dining out or dining at home? No matter the option, most Americans are feeling the pinch. New data shows groceries and restaurant prices are the highest they've been in decades.
These are what most people spend most of their money on. So when there's even a few dollars of a price increase, it makes a big difference in the average person's pocketbook.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, restaurant prices spiked nearly 6% over the 12 months ending in November without seasonal adjustments. That's the largest 12-month increase since 1982.
What that means is that people are not going to be eating as well. They're certainly not going to be eating out as much.
And if you thought you could save more by cooking at home, think again. Grocery prices are also at record highs. They jumped more than 6%, the largest 12-month increase since 2008. Beef had the most dramatic price spike at nearly 21%.
You're seeing prices in grocery stores go up. Most people spend the majority of their money on rent, food, and fuel. And so when those things go up, it really hurts.
The hikes in food are part of a bigger trend. Consumer price inflation, which includes gas prices, rose by 6.8% in the 12-month period ending in November, hitting its highest level in 39 years.
It's the worst inflation that we've seen in 3 decades. So it's bad, and it's really unusual.
It's the Federal Reserve's job to fight inflation. And this week, there's added pressure on the Fed to take action during its scheduled two-day meeting. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Supply chain and labor pressures are also contributing to price increases across the board. Restaurants, food manufacturers, and grocers are all facing higher costs for items, labor, and transportation And as those costs rise, manufacturers pass some of them on to their retail customers, who in turn charge consumers a portion of those increases. Later, the Webb City girls look to punch their ticket to the semifinals of the Lady Mustang Classic.
Plus, we're going to continue to warm up the next few days, but also some thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll check that out coming up. Well, it turned out to be a mild day, especially for the middle of December for us. After kind of chilly over the weekend, we had the thunderstorms Friday night, the big severe weather event, especially just east of us. Cooled down over the weekend and then warmed right back up for us today. Monday was actually a really nice day. Great shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side. And this is a live shot for you. It looks pretty good. But we are going to start to get some clouds in here late tonight. So we were in the 50s yesterday, near 50 on Saturday, mid 50s yesterday, and we went into the upper 60s to near 70 today. So a significant warm up, over 20 degrees above our normal high for this time of the year. In fact, our temps right now are still above our normal high, as most of us across the board are sitting into the mid 50s, and we'll drop back kind of in that 48, 49 degree range later on tonight. Southerly winds are going to help keep our temperatures up just a little bit. So we have south winds 5 to 15. These will actually increase quite a bit as we go through the next 2 days. 7th and range line looks pretty quiet, currently sitting at 56. South winds 10 to 15. Humidity is at 40%. We have clear skies. Nothing is going on here. Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma. Checking south, you can see a few little showers down across northern parts of Texas. This is Gulf of Mexico moisture kind of acting north ahead of our next storm system. Those southerly winds bring that moisture north. So we are going to get clouds from that late tonight into tomorrow. And then here's our next storm system out across the Pacific Northwest. Very heavy snows up through the higher elevations of the mountains in California and parts of Nevada. But that system is going to shoot across the northern plains, and it will give us around a little thunderstorms by the time we head into Wednesday night. For us tonight, calm. Clouds increase late as we go through the morning hours. Mostly cloudy skies. We can't rule out a random sprinkle, a random quick little shower. Most of you will stay dry. Here's your day planner for you tomorrow. We'll start at 48, 66 by noon. High temp right around 70. It is going to be windy. We're going to have those south winds, 15 to 25. Gust will be higher than that. Tomorrow night, a lot of clouds stick around. And again, can't rule out random shower, random sprinkle. Not a big deal. Much of the same on Wednesday. Mild, lower 70s. A lot of clouds. Random sprinkle, random shower, but Wednesday evening, here comes our cold front. Slides in, we'll get a band of showers and thunderstorms. Some of these could be a little strong, not expecting anything severe. These will work on through. We'll have some leftover showers early Thursday morning, and then cooler air works in for Thursday. So I don't think that's going to be a big event with that next system, but still something we'll keep our eyes on over the next couple days. All right, winds increasing, wind gusts over 30. By the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. So it gets very windy the next couple days. And once the system rolls through, by the time we head into Thursday and Friday, we actually cool down back to closer to where we should be for this time of the year. But rain chances sticking around for a few days. 70 tomorrow, 73 Wednesday, 56 on Thursday, back to 60 on Friday, but rain chances lasting into the beginning of the weekend, then cooling down for the weekend. Temperatures back to where we should be for the middle of December.
Which is considerably cooler than it has been.
Because we're going to be near record highs tomorrow on Wednesday.
Wow, thanks, Todd. Missouri Southern's Japan semester continued today with an art exhibit called The Impossible Journey. It's about a long-planned trip for students in the International Art Seminar class. The trip was supposed to take students to Japan, but it was canceled twice after national borders closed because of the pandemic. As an alternative, the class took a trip to San Francisco's Japantown and Los Angeles' Little Tokyo to explore Japanese art and culture.
With this experience, if I ever were to have the opportunity to go to Japan, I would be all the more ecstatic because I would have some background behind it and I would be able to really immerse myself. If there was ever an opportunity like this again, I'm sure any of us would be so glad to do it.
The exhibit will be available for viewing in the Spiva Gallery at MSSU until January 12th. Watered Gardens says its annual toy shop offers hope and dignity for parents during the Christmas season. The toy shop gives parents a chance to work for their child's gifts. Watered Gardens has a number of items for gifts, but rather than a price, items are given a time stamp for the amount of time the parent would work in the Worth shop to earn the gifts.
Maybe they have a home, maybe they live in an apartment, but they just struggle to put food on the table, or like in this Christmas season, put presents under the tree. There's opportunity here where you don't have to bring money. You bring cash, you kind of bring yourself, able to exchange some time to get what you need, and maybe you can use what you have to pay the electric bill or to pay for something else.
The toy shop is open through December 17th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Coming up in sports, Webb City hits the floor at the Lady Mustang Classic in McDonald County High School, and the Missouri Southern women try to push their winning streak to 6 games against McKendree. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
The Missouri Southern women's basketball team is one of the hottest teams in the MIAA right now. Southern has won 5 games in a row, including their first 3 MIAA conference games. Tonight, the Lions try to stay rolling, hosting a non-conference game against McKendree. Early on, Cameron Call, pull-up 3. She goes 3 for 4 from deep, finishes with 13. Second quarter now, Caitlin Honeycutt, pull-up 3 of her own. She scores 11. Lions rolling in the first half, and it stayed that way. Amaya Johns all alone for the easy 2 here. She scores 10 with 4 rebounds. Pass goes out to Mia Topping. She's good from 3. Game is 76-33 going to the fourth. And in that fourth quarter, Malaya Landers open in the corner. 9 players score 6 or more tonight, led by Maddie Stokes and her 19. Lions cruise by McKendree 92-55.
Sometimes when you playing a team and you get a big lead, you have a tendency to let down on the defense and then try to force things offensively. But I thought our kids did a great job on both ends of the floor for 40 minutes, offensively sharing the basketball, not trying to force things, and then defensively really try to take them out of some things. And I thought for the majority of the game, we did a very good job of that.
The Lady Mustang Classic got started on Saturday at McDonald County High School. Now today, there are 3 games on the schedule, beginning with Webb City taking on Bentonville West. Now the winner of this game moves on to play in the semifinals tomorrow evening. Crowder College softball commit Laney Tapp. Good start, 3 from the top of the key. Then left side, nice little pull up. She gets 7 in the first quarter. Cardinals down 4. Second quarter now. Ivoriana Johnson going to work for Bentonville. Gets the block all the way to the other end, finish and the foul. Webb City held without a field goal in the second quarter. Early third, back to Laney Tapp, 3-ball far side. She scores a game-high 15. Sticking around in the third, Webb City trying to stay in it. Kate Brownfield, 3. It's Cardinals' first field goal since the first quarter. Then Sam Mancini inside, bucket and the foul. But Bentonville West keeps rolling to win it 50-22. After that, the tournament host Mustangs play their first game in the Classic. They face Fort Smith Southside in the quarterfinals. The Southside wins it 58-37. Samara Smith scores a team-high 11 for the Mustangs. Then in the final game of the Mustang Classic, Carl Junction on the floor against Alma, Arkansas. They win it big, 69-49. Destiny Berge scores a game-high 31 points for the Bulldogs, while Chloe Burke adds 16. The Kansas City Chiefs hit the field against the Raiders on Sunday. The Chiefs dominated from start to finish, beating the Raiders 48-9, their biggest win in the history of the rivalry. Here's how it started. First play of the game for the Raiders, they fumbled. Chiefs took it back for a touchdown, and that was pretty much how the rest of the day went. Kansas City forced 5 turnovers on their way to a season-high 48 points. Offensively, the Chiefs had 372 total yards, and wide receiver Josh Gordon caught his first touchdown since joining the team in September.
When guys put in work like he has over these last few weeks, and obviously he hasn't had the targets and catches that we've wanted him to have just because of the flow of the game and how we've played, for him to get that touchdown, we've worked on that play for a couple weeks now, and we were set up in the perfect area, and he hit it, and it worked perfectly. So for him to make a big play for us in the game, it's just going to continue to help him get that confidence that we can go out there and he can utilize him and his talents to help the offense.
Crowder College head baseball coach Travis Lallemand has been named the Coach of the Year by the Midwest Scouts Association. The association presented Lallemand with that award this past weekend at Kauffman Stadium. Lallemand has led the Crowder program since 2005. This year, won 55 games, made a trip to the JUCO World Series in Colorado. In his career, he has 653 wins, 6 regional titles, and 3 trips to the World Series. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Donate.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Sergeant Warner Tygreen served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Chanute, Kansas, and we are proud to salute Sergeant Warner Tygreen. He's tonight's 4-state hero. A light display that puts Clark Griswold's home to shame has landed a family in LaGrangeville, New York, a spot in the Guinness World Records. 686,811 lights make up this magical display. I don't know who counted them. Spirals, snowmen, animals, dozens of icicles clinging to branches, choreographed to 250 songs spanning 8 miles of extension cords. 8 miles, all of this from the imagination of Tim and Grace Gay and their 3 children. It takes them 8 weeks to create this masterpiece. What started as 600 lights has grown to nearly 700,000, but it's not about just winning for this family. They team up with the Unionville Fire Department every year to collect donations to support the firefighters and local charities. So working with the fire department, I assume that it is also fire safe. I want to blow some fuses with that thing.
You would hope so, yes.
Imagine the electric bill.
Imagine
it
the time.
It would be sizable. Yeah. It would be a lot of time. But it also draws a lot of people, I guess.
That's true.
The weather warm again.
Yeah, right around 70 for us tomorrow, 73 on Wednesday. We are going to have a lot of clouds. Could get a random shower, random sprinkle. We are going to get some thunderstorms in here by Wednesday night.
Final sports note.
Quick turnaround for the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Big one on Thursday night at the Chargers.
The winner of this game will be in first place in the AFC West. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget our morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.